Hi. Well, I got inspired to talk about beans today for two reasons. One, they're such a great source of good health and taste. And two, I tried a bean I have never cooked before called navy beans, and my sister inspired me to try them. They're just a small white bean and made a soup with a lot of veggies and greens, and it's delicious. So I'll share that recipe with you today. But I love cooking whole food plant-based because even though you would think the variety would be limited, I keep learning new things, keep trying new foods that I really, really enjoy. And beans, last week we talked about cruciferous veggies being an answer to better health. Beans are the second component, beans and lentils, of really bringing our health level up higher. They have a lot of important health benefits.
Over to me.
Over to you.
Well, one of the big benefits in a vegetarian diet, a non-meat diet, is protein. We need protein for healthy health, to fight disease. And we need protein to build tissue, hair, fingernails, bone, all of that. So we get a really healthy form of protein from beans compared to the type of protein we get from animal products, because it's not as acidic, it's not as inflammatory. And so all protein is made of amino acids, so you can see how that might be inflammatory. But the nature of the amino acids in the beans and the other nutrients it comes with actually makes eating beans anti-inflammatory. So a lot of great benefits from the protein in beans, and it being anti-inflammatory, lots of antioxidants. And the other thing that's really great about the beans, as opposed to getting our protein from animal products, is the fiber. We've talked about this a lot before, but basically our fiber keeps our microbiome happy, keeps it healthy. And a healthy microbiome is being shown more and more to be a direct link to our overall health. We need a healthy microbiome. So fiber is great.
And I was listening to Dr. Greger this morning about Alzheimer's, and being older, we have real interest in what's the latest. And what he said they found again and again is that eating animal foods with a high level of saturated fat has a direct link to Alzheimer's. So explore the world of beans and lentils. They are so yummy, and we'll share a great recipe with you that is easy to make today.
Yeah, they're so yummy, and that fiber helps fill us really fast, so we don't overeat. And it's affordable. Beans are the most affordable source of protein on the planet. So it's got lots of benefits.
Yeah, and buy organic because they spray garbanzo beans and all of the legumes now that aren't organic with glyphosate, which has a real, what would you call it, Bill?
Detrimental.
Yeah, detrimental effect on the microbiome and also on our intestinal wall, keeping the cells knitted together.
I'm not sure all the beans are sprayed with glyphosate because they have to be GMO. Soybeans are. But all the other beans are sprayed with a lot of herbicides and pesticides if they're not organic.
Well, in listening to the diabetic summit yesterday, one of the experts said garbanzo beans and all the bean family.
It would surprise me that they've got GMO for all of those, but
yeah, he may have
not
been
a bad
mistaken.
idea to do organic. Let's put it
we
that
love
way.
organic. We love it. We love it.
Right. Good. So, anything else on beans?
No.
Okay, what I wanted to talk about, this is my choice for today, is being authentic, being not full of beans.
That's good.
Just to make my little segue in.
That's good.
And I had this thought because I was listening to a recording by Claire Diamond this morning, who I really like. And she was talking about authenticity, and I remember what a struggle that was for me for a long time, because I so wanted to be authentic. I wanted to be real. I knew there was this Bill in here that was so good and could do so much for the world. And yet, at times I'm just off being crazy, being full of beans. Someone would say, "Get real. What are you thinking?" Haven't we experienced that with people? We know when they're not being authentic. We know when they're not being real. And so what are we talking about? I think it's so natural. We all know that there's this space, this place within us, our authentic self, you might say, that is aligned with the way life really works. And when we come from there, then things seem to work really well. But I used to have a lot of confusion about being authentic because I'd have feelings come up, and I was kind of a people pleaser. And so sometimes I'd get angry and I would lash out. And some of the people that knew me would say, "Good for you, Bill. You set a boundary, you broke that habit." And so it was good not to fall into people pleasing. I agree, but I didn't feel good about it. There was something good about setting a boundary, but I didn't feel good inside. And what I see now is that my feelings aren't a good
Indicator.
indicator about where I'm coming from. And what Claire was saying on this recording is that there's a feeling that goes along with when we're not being authentic, and that's resistance. And I look back at my life, and sure enough, every time that I would come from this place of expressing my feelings, how I was expressing them authentically, I was being authentic to my feelings, but I wasn't being authentic to who I really am. There was a lot of resistance. You shouldn't be saying that to me. You shouldn't be doing this. And so that would get my feelings going, my anger up, and I would express that. And so what I'm seeing now is that when I'm in a state of resistance or pushback, or I hear myself saying, "This shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be doing this." When I'm resisting what is, that comes with a feeling. And that feeling is like the Dharma bell to wake me up. It's my alarm clock. It's the red flag that says, you may not be coming from an authentic place, authentic in the sense of who I really am.
Yeah, and when we have those feelings that are uncomfortable, they can be the main driver to our eating and overeating or using food to try to calm that experience.
Right.
And yet, it's the very thing that really moves us towards seeing more truth about who we really are.
Yeah,
if really we pay attention to it.
Yeah, so that's really the value of understanding this distinction between whether I'm just giving expression, projecting my feelings out into the world, or coming from a really authentic place. And the value of that in terms of what Connie's saying, in terms of my food choices, is that now when I have those feelings, I may express them. I may not catch myself until, oops, it's out. But that feeling, when I do notice that's the feeling I don't really love, I stop. It's just like I can't keep doing something that I don't like. Good, and I stop. Yeah, it's made a little difference in our relationship, hasn't it? and in that stopping, I can settle into this more authentic place, this place of peace and calm that is able to see life just as it is, that what happened wasn't the threat that I thought it was, that I felt I needed to defend myself about.
And from that place, we're habit free. That's also very good news. So we love to combine our understanding of food and health with the mental emotional piece, which Bill's describing beautifully.
Right. It's been, I think, the most significant impact that we've had with people in terms of being able to help them make lasting change in diet and lifestyle. Because knowing what to eat is easy.
That's true.
But doing it in the midst of these feelings that come up, anxiety and stress and pressure, and what's my neighbor going to think? Have us reaching for food. So when we begin to see through this natural tendency of the mind to make up stories about how we need to defend ourselves, or how what somebody's thinking or saying is an insult, and so I need to push back. When we begin to see the nature of our experience is that we're always feeling our moment-to-moment thinking, we can begin to explore that more deeply and begin to start letting go of how I used to so get into the spin of how right I was.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. And then where's the next chocolate chip cookie, to deal with my spin. So that's what we feel is so valuable in beginning to understand the nature of the mind, how life really works, how life is really an inside out experience. What I experience on the inside, which is everything, my whole experience of life is in here, right? It's what I'm experiencing. And how that experience is actually generated in here, based on what I'm thinking and feeling, as opposed to what it used to look like if somebody said something or I thought they thought something, thinking that that circumstance in the outside is what made me feel that way. So I was always trying to change everything on the outside. I was resistant to what was because there was a misunderstanding about how it was.
And that makes us resistant to life, which is so stressful and painful both, and doesn't work.
Yeah, and such an unfortunate use of our time here.
Yeah.
As we get more and more grounded in this understanding, life just becomes so much more beautiful. And I love my wife so much more, and I love all of life so much more. It's like, what an interesting gift. I haven't had to work on loving. I've just had to pay attention to what got in the way. And as I let that wind down, the greater love that's always been there
shows up.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah. You were whistling around the house this morning in the midst of a heavy snowstorm. I loved it. So try beans for improved health. They're the next level, beans and lentils. And look at what you're resisting, because when we resist what is, we suffer. We'd love to support you if we can in any way, so connect with us down below. We'll send the recipe.
All right. See you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.